Hello guys, welcome to the Alrasta channel to discuss and explain the exciting storyline of your favorite series, SwallowedStar episode 193. In the previous episode, we saw Luofeng defeat two warriors who had reached the limit Immortal King level. Luofeng also demonstrated his abilities when facing 18 Immortal Kings who attacked him at once and even made other enemies who were watching him fear him. After leaving the battle site, Luofeng now holds the title of King Blade River, thanks to his beautiful and powerful Bright Moon technique. So what will happen in this episode 193, guys? Alright, without further ado, let's dive right into the story. King Heavy Arrow, aka Zhang Jian, who has been restored, has now become one of Luofeng's most loyal subordinates. One thing that has recently been discovered is that behind his large and formidable-looking armor, Zhang Jian is just a cute capybara. Although cute, he still considers himself a tough guy. He even strikes several poses in front of his master, Luofeng. "This is the real me," says Zhang Jian. "The purple bell is a treasure that is very suitable for warriors who study the laws of space and fire, and it is very suitable for Zhang Jian. That's why Luofeng asks him to combine it with this defensive treasure." After Luofeng handed over the purple bell treasure to him, Zhang Jian felt very happy. He was so happy that he immediately hugged Luofeng's feet, who had been so kind to him. When the capybara was ready to merge with the purple bell treasure, something strange happened. After waiting for a long time, the capybara fell silent and made Luofeng and the others fall asleep. Who would have thought that the animal would fall asleep? Babata woke up, realized this, and immediately woke him up so he could do his job as soon as possible. It didn't take long for Zhang Jian to unite with the treasure, marked by a small purple bell that appeared and stuck above his head. Not long after, funnily enough, he fell asleep again, making Babata even more annoyed. Next, the scene shifts to Hongmeng Alliance City, where Luofeng is informing Star Fantasy that he will be heading to Star Tower. Having fulfilled the mandatory military points requirement to go there, Luofeng wants to try his hand at the highest level of danger, which is said to be found in the 7th extraterritorial battlefield. According to Star Fantasy, the Star Tower is indeed a place worth visiting for strong individuals. It was a place filled with many sealed stars. It was known that if someone obtained a sealed star, they could permanently seal a super powerful warrior. In the past, even the four-peak races had fought great wars to obtain sealed stars. But they were quite difficult to find because sealed stars were only formed once every 1,000 years, and there were no clear clues as to where they would appear. There are tens of millions of immortal kings from the four-peak races gathered in that place, so the competition to obtain sealed stars will be extremely difficult. Although it is difficult, there is no harm in Luofeng trying his luck, so Luofeng wants to go there. On his journey to Star Tower, Luofeng spent his time cultivating. After passing through various galaxies in the dark universe, Luofeng finally arrived at a place called Star Tower, which was larger than the Yanji continent. In Babata's eyes, the place also looked very beautiful. Meanwhile, Zhang Jian explained that the spiral-shaped star tower was 9 light-years high. Because it had long absorbed enormous cosmic energy, this place was also known as a great wonder of the universe. In the middle of his explanation, Zhang Jian suddenly fell asleep again, so Babata immediately hit him to get him to continue his explanation. So the place that looked so beautiful was in fact a nightmare for powerful warriors, where even the figure of Universe Venerable could be destroyed. It was indeed very frightening, and Babata could feel it too. When he looked at Star Tower, Luofeng fell silent, as if he had been hypnotized. When he came to his senses, Luofeng said that ever since they arrived there, he could feel calls that made his soul tremble violently. Even the calls he felt were stronger than the calls of the flame god's metal fragments. There must be something behind Star Tower that was slightly related to him. When he arrived in front of Star Tower, the spiral-shaped object there opened up. Luofeng immediately used his mental powers to see and try to connect with what was likely the source that had called him. Unfortunately, there was no response at all, even though Luofeng had tried several times. Luofeng could feel the Star Tower calling out to him, making his whole body tremble. But no matter how he tried, Luofeng could not get any response when he tried to call back. So, to find out, he tried to go inside. Not long after Luofeng entered with Zhang Jian, an unexpected event occurred when Luofeng stepped toward the hallway. He was suddenly sucked into the entrance of the forbidden space.
是我弄错了吗？还是先进去吧。
Within Star Tower itself, there are countless forbidden spaces. These forbidden spaces are also connected to each other and can be accessed by entering hidden corridors. After flying through the corridors for quite some time, Luofeng was finally transported into a forbidden space. This place was a desert with an endless plain. When landing, Zhang Jian's large armor couldn't catch his small body, causing him to fall headfirst into the sand. Well, what a funny scene, guys. Zhong Jian explained again that scanning devices, world projection, mental power detection, teleportation, and so on are all restricted when one enters the forbidden space. If they want to forcefully escape from that place, the most they can do is use the teleportation technique through God Country transmission. If they don't use that method, well, of course they have to follow the rules in Star Tower, which is to exit a forbidden space by finding a connected passageway there, the appearance of which is quite random. In the middle of the explanation, Zhang Jian suddenly asked Luofeng to be careful. Just as he finished his sentence, a mechanical creature resembling a centipede attacked them. Moving quickly, Zhang Jian immediately struck several times, which finally caused the centipede to flee into the ground.
主人，小心！
Not to hide, but to summon a centipede larger than himself. All warriors who had ever entered the Star Tower knew that these creatures were the guardians of forbidden space. The guardians of the forbidden space are automaton puppets at the limit Immortal King level. Since they are puppets, soul attacks are completely useless. The only way to defeat them is to destroy the core hidden inside the automaton puppet's body. As an initial attack, the giant creature suddenly disappeared from Luofeng's sight and suddenly appeared above Luofeng, intending to stomp on Luofeng with its long, sharp legs. Having failed to attack Luofeng, the creature used its many legs to build a cage trap and tried to trap Luofeng and King Heavy Arrow inside. When they escaped the trap, Zhang Jian released 2 arrows in different directions. As the fire arrows spun, the blue arrows were released and collided with each other, exploding and destroying the enemy's cage trap. However, the puppet quickly returned to target Luofeng, whom it wanted to devour. But it was stopped again by Zhang Jian, who shot an arrow at the enemy's head. Because it was a nuisance, Zhang Jian was immediately blown away by the automaton puppet. The battle continued. When Zhang Jian unleashed his fire arrow attack, this time his enemy blocked it with a barbed attack that shot out from his body. As the 2 attacks collided, Luofeng unleashed Bright Moon, the technique that had made him famous. Although it landed, Bright Moon was not enough to defeat the centipede and only cracked the surface of its abdomen. In a counterattack, the centipede curled its body and moved like a crazy wheel, targeting Luofeng. Fortunately, Luofeng was not crushed to death by the enemy thanks to Zhang Jian, who once again provided assistance by setting up a purple bell defense. In the end, Zhang Jian launched a counterattack, this time releasing arrows with the help of his two legs, Twin Arrow. One red fire arrow eroded the centipede's body wall, while the blue fire arrow acted as the executioner, instantly piercing the giant centipede's stomach. When the centipede was thought to be dead, it turned out that it wasn't over yet. Another red centipede, slightly smaller in size, emerged from inside the dead centipede's body. That centipede then cut off the dead centipede's abdomen, and from that piece of body, another red centipede emerged. Luofeng now faced the challenge of defeating two centipede monsters. The enemy then unleashed a space law attack from two sides. The attack appeared to be aimed at restraining Zhang Jian, who was considered to be the most disruptive force in the battle. Zhang Jian's body was unable to move because of the invisible threads. However, Luofeng, who could see them, immediately cut the prison threads using Shiwu's wings. The two were able to resume the battle, dodging and destroying every sharp leg that emerged from behind the cracks in the two-sided dimensional space, before finally neutralizing the enemy's trap attack with Luofeng's Bright Moon technique. Luofeng was truly the main target here. The two centipedes moved again like crazy wheels that wanted to crush Luofeng's body. In another direction, Zhang Jian provided assistance again by releasing an arrow that could spread into several points. The attack severely wounded one of the automaton puppets. Performing a combo attack, Luofeng moved one of the centipedes with his mental power. Meanwhile, Zhang Jian lifted and spun the other one around before finally smashing the two together. And boom, it didn't end there. Zhang Jian again released a flaming arrow as an execution attack on one of the centipedes, which was thrown and crashed into the rock wall. As Luofeng and Zhang Jian attacked the centipede's core, a red laser suddenly shot out from the hollow core towards Luofeng. But once again, thanks to Zhang Jian, the attack was blocked by the purple bell. Along with that, an earthquake occurred. It was very strange. Usually the inside of the star tower was hushed, but now there was a fairly large tremor. According to Zhang Jian, moments like that only occurred when sealed stars were formed in the star tower. Even though it was Luofeng's first time entering the star tower, he had already encountered sealed stars. Zhang Jian said he was very lucky. In any case, Luofeng had to obtain the sealed stars. At the same time, not far from there, a beam of light appeared, which was a passageway to escape from the forbidden space. Seeing that the place was about to collapse, there was no reason to stay there any longer. So the two of them chose to leave while dodging the centipede's attacks before entering the golden passageway. Immediately after exiting the first floor of forbidden space, Luofeng and Zhang Jian stood in a black corridor. Surrounding them were many cube-shaped blocks that interpreted a world from forbidden space. Among the blocks, Zhang Jian saw mysterious writings that indicated the location of the sealed stars. Each world of the forbidden space was said to be comparable in size to a normal planet. Each place exuded a faint aura that made one's heart flutter, and it rolled in this endless void at a constant speed. Luofeng couldn't immediately go to the location of the sealed stars because there were invisible obstacles preventing him from reaching his destination directly. And the obstacles referred to here were other forbidden spaces. So all they could do was slowly approach the location of the sealed stars by gradually completing various floors in the forbidden space. To achieve this, Luofeng was certain that he would face difficulties many times greater than before. However, that would be the price he would have to pay if he wanted to obtain the treasure that was considered very valuable to many races. He had to work hard first, before Luofeng could reap the rewards. Because Luofeng wanted to use his power to the maximum, Zhang Jian would also do the same as his master and fight with all his might. He even swore that he would never fall asleep again. Not long after, both of them moved again. It was clear that all the guards of the Forbidden Space and Star Tower were completely unfriendly. Almost every area was guarded by guards who always had the intention to kill. It was as if behind all this, someone was controlling the automaton puppet and always trying to target Luofeng. Some of the guards Luofeng faced even had strength comparable to warriors surpassing the limit Immortal King level. Now, Luofeng felt that his decision to bring Zhang Jian, who could be relied upon, was the right one. Up to this point, Luofeng was able to quickly overcome various obstacles due to Zhang Jian's strength. Well, this capybara is pretty awesome, guys. While in Forbidden Space, surrounded by snow-capped mountains, Luofeng communicated with King Tianzhen, who was also in the Star Tower and fighting the guards in Forbidden Space. Tianzhen had also heard rumors about the imminent formation of sealed stars. Judging from the unusual movements of the Forbidden Space guards, it was clear that the rumors were true. And if the rumor is indeed true, then Forbidden Space will also guide powerful warriors from various races to the point where the sealed stars are formed. The closer they get to the location of the sealed stars, the more often the warriors will encounter each other, which is very dangerous. This is because the threat from the alien race is greater than the threat posed by the guards. That is why Tianzhen asks Luofeng to be even more careful. Luofeng is now in the forbidden space of the swamp world. Based on the human race's military coordinate system, Luofeng's current position is not far from Tianzhen's. Joining forces and continuing the journey with him would be a good idea. Considering that there are also enemies from foreign races that Luofeng may encounter at some point, Tianzhen would be a valuable ally for him. In the middle of the journey, when Luofeng gave orders to Zhang Jian, the animal suddenly fell silent. When Babata checked, it turned out that Zhang Jian had fallen asleep again and activated autopilot mode so that he could fly even while sleeping. Babata was annoyed because Zhang Jian had promised not to fall asleep again, but he broke that promise. Seeing his pet sleeping all the time, Luofeng put the animal into his world ring. Well, sleeping all the time? Is it time for capybaras to start their mating season, guys? However, not long after, Luofeng was confronted by several machine races. Among them was one that resembled the King Purple Clock. The enemy admitted that the Purple Clock Luofeng had defeated earlier was from his tribe. Therefore, he would not let Luofeng escape anywhere. When the enemy introduced himself, Luofeng cut him off and said, "If you're here for revenge, let's just fight." Knowing that Luofeng had already slaughtered many enemies, this enemy was quite bold to come and challenge Luofeng. So, would Luofeng be able to slaughter them? Let's just wait for the next episode. Okay guys, thank you for watching until the end, and don't forget to support this channel with likes, subscribe, and comments. That's all from me. Bye!
是什么力量在支撑着他？
作于山峰，而宇宙存在万物为座山客。